All right, Shalom. Want to say call Halal Yahweh, Bahashem Yahweh Shai, Bahashem Rakakadash, Barakatah Yahweh, Barakatah Yahweh Shai, Barakatah Yahweh, Barakatah Yahweh Shai, Barakatah Yahweh, Barakatah Yahweh Shai. Double honor to the apostles and elders at GMS to rule well. Peace and blessings to the Akim that's out there fighting, doing this work with truth and sincerity. Back here again with another lesson. Lord willing, this is edifying to the elect men out there that's listening and watching these videos. I was watching through the Spirit and Power of Yahweh by Shema Bashar. I listened to Elder Apostle Tahar's video on E Must Go on what is the 666 Mark II GMS Truth. He was reading what is called or what they call like a bill of sale, BOS. You get something, you get a bill of sale that you sold or purchased. I think he was reading one by BOS, Bill of Slave. You know, you have to also remember, you so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, that we were sold into slavery and put on cargo slave ships and came here to the Americas. And right here it says the transatlantic slave trade uprooted millions. And that's crazy because that goes back to the Israelites. Now you have the northern tribe, which is so-called Mexicans, so-called Puerto Rican, so-called Cubans, so-called North American Indian, so-called Seminole Indians, so-called Seminole Indians, so on and so forth, was already brought over here to the side of the world. You know, I'm sure some was also captured as well and brought over, because remember, we came over, a lot of Israelites came over on cargo slave ships to the west coast of Africa. And right here where it says the transatlantic stage, just a quick lesson. I was listening to Elder Pastor Hart, and the Spirit jumped on me to do a quick lesson, because the so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, they forget about the history that we brought over on cargo slave ships and our people. And they don't think that, a lot of our people don't think the Edomites, so-called white people, are the devils, meaning deceiver. Our people, I heard this one guy, I guess what IUIC was trying to wake up this Judite woman, this so-called black woman who's an Israelite. And she said she didn't understand it. And it seemed like he was trying to force it on her. And she said that she's not a racist. So our people have forgotten who their enemy are. And it's very critical. It's very critical and crucial in these days, in the times we're living in, to know who your enemies are, man. Our people simply don't believe that we have enemies. You have to really understand what is happening, man. You see, our people, all in that love spirit, all in that so-called Christianity crap, and loving that so-called white image of so-called Jesus Christ, man. You know? But we was brought up here on cargo slave ships so we left our home, Jerusalem, to flee from the Roman persecution. And I'm reading this book right here, Babylon of Timbuktu. When you go to page 84, it says, in the year 65 BC, the Roman armies under General Pompey captured Jerusalem, meaning that it was under siege. The Romans came in. That's when we was in our land. They came and captured Jerusalem. That's where we was living at, you see. In 70 AD, General Vespasian and his son Titus put an end to the Jewish state. With great slaughter, you see, here it is, these people came in with great slaughter against the Israelites, man. You see? But our people look at these people, the so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native American now as a whole, look at this man as though they want to be equal to this man. You fighting for so-called to be equal with this guy, not so-called. You fighting to be equal with this guy. And like Elder Yashua said, you fight to get to the same table to realize you're eating the same fucking sandwich. And you went through all this for nothing to find out it's just a sandwich that you eating, that you've been eating. But nonetheless, you know, during 70 AD, General Vespasian and his son Titus put an end to the Jewish state with great slaughter. During the period of the military governors of Palestine, many outrages and atrocities were committed against the residue of the people. That's us, the Israelites. You have to understand your history, man. Our people was brought over here on cargo slave ships, and we here today. This is history that happened to the Lord's people, man. You see? Oh, well, that was a long time ago. Or, well, blah, blah, blah. They're not like that today. You clearly don't understand the scriptures and don't read the Bible, man. The Lord said he going to pay those people back. And I don't want to jump the gun. Just read Exodus chapter 21 and 16. You see? I might get that, Lord willing. And also, I might get Revelation 29. I don't want this to be long. I need to hurry up because I got a few scriptures I want to get, Lord willing. Right? I hope it all making sense. During the period of the military governors of Palestine, many outrages and atrocities were committed against the residue of the people. During the period from Pompey to Julius, it has been estimated that over 1 million Jews fled into Africa. We fled into Africa. Fleeing from the Roman persecution and slavery, the slave market was full of black Jewish slaves, man. And it says right here, let's see. This prophecy and all the residue of the prophecies contained in Deuteronomy 28, chapter 15 through 68, befell the so-called black Jews, because we're not black, we're Israelites, after they disobeyed the laws of the Most High. Many nations transported the Jews into slavery. We went into, because the Lord spreaded us throughout the four corners of this planet. You see? Because we disobeyed the laws of the Heavenly Father. Right? Many nations, other people in rulership, was transporting us into slavery, and the sons of Israel transmigrated to every continent. That's prophecy in the Bible, because what it says in I need my sword. What is it? The Bible speaks about the dispersed. Hold on, let me get my sword. I'm gonna use my phone to record. This is one of my go-to real quick. Let me go get the book of James. Mind you, I just read that in the book of Babylon and Timbuktu. So now I'm about to get the scriptures, because I'm gonna read that little sentence again. And this is prophecy, man. You know? And I hope I have enough time to record. I'm sorry, Salaki. One second. Remember what I just read, right? Here it is, right here. Let's see. Pages be started. Okay, here we go. Now I read in Babylon Timbuktu what? Oh, come on. Here I go. All right. Because I don't want to lose that up there that's already on the phone, where they uprooted millions of Israelites, basically. Right? So, this book is old, it's tearing up on me, so I got to be careful with these pages. So, Babylon Timbuktu, page 84, about the fourth paragraph down, it says, many nations transported the Jews into slavery, and the sons of Israel transmigrated into every continent, right? So right here in James 1:1, James, a servant of the Most High Yahweh Yahushua, and of the Lord Yahushua Hamashiach, to the 12 tribes which are scattered abroad, greetings. So the Israelites, we have been scattered throughout the four corners of this planet, man. That's why I said they have been transmigrated to every continent on the planet. So it's impossible, for one, not to get off topic, for the Israelites to all come back looking like John Shab. So you're going to have other nations that's going to come looking like Israelites, man. But nonetheless, we fled into the west coast of Africa. Now, I have some, let me see. I'm going to jump around in this book, because after we fled into the interiors of Africa, why? To escape Roman persecution. So that means that if so-called white people was in that land, fleeing, was in the land of Jerusalem, saying they're the Lord's people and fleeing into Africa, wouldn't they stand out as a people? Because on that continent of Africa, it's all dark-skinned people. So we had to flee, or we fled from Roman persecution to blend in with those nations of people. You see? Think about it. Don't jump. So if there's one I was reading where it says how we fled into the west coast of Africa, and we basically started to, like, not shine, but to really, get settled in, and we became a great people, because the more hell that was brought upon us, we had a lot of babies. So there's a lot of good information in this book. Get the meat and pick out the bones. But remember, we went to the west coast of Africa. So it says, this is on page 99, like the third or fourth paragraph down. No, I'm sorry, page 90. It said the black Jews had an advantage over the African tribes. They carried their culture, history, laws, and written records with them. This assured them a constant precedent for the development of a higher social organization. Because of the stability of the black Jews' culture, the Jews were not absorbed into the atrocious population. In fact, the Jews absorbed some of the native tribes. The Jews made use of every opportunity. They were an industrial and skillful people. In the Jewish Gehenna states were found kings, princes, governors, generals, secretaries, treasurers, revenue agents, judges, architects, engineers, doctors, historians. This after we fled Roman persecution and fled to the west coast of Africa, and we still thrived. Just to make that point, goldsmiths, blacksmiths, saddlers, potters, carpenters, painters of art, so on and so forth. So when they seen that, the so-called Africans, when they seen that, it's more in this book, man. I missed this book. When they seen that, they was like, okay, man, these people are multiplying more and more and more, right? So they said we had to do something. That's when Islam, the so-called Arabs, what it says, the Arabs and the so-called white man got with the so-called Africans, got together and rounded us up and put us on cargo slave ships. That's why it's called the transatlantic slave trade, uprooted millions and just dispersed us throughout this whole world, this whole planet. That has some other stuff that was highlighted about how we was really doing good, and that again they rounded us up and they sold us to the so-called white man. So we can't be Africans because they sold us to these people, to these devils in their hand, man. I'm gonna have to get back in this book again, and that's what I was saying. And that goes into Judah, Benjamin, and Levi, the so-called Negroes, West Indians, and Haitians. You see, you had other Israelites, I'm sure, among them as well. The northern tribe was mainly brought over here, and we was all scattered throughout the four corners of this planet. And hold on one quick second.